Where do I start?
Let me guess. Things have gotten a little bit difficult and you're starting to doubt everything, your ability, whether you want to continue, whether it's worth it. I can tell you that it's most definitely worth it and that life is hard and you're going to have these moments, but what matters the most is that you keep trying and you keep showing up. Life is so incredibly short. You don't have to have everything figured out. The most important thing is that you just keep trying, because there's something so beautiful in the journey of doing something. Keep showing up, because in doing so, you open the door to so many different opportunities. The best thing that you can do is try. And I promise you, something beautiful will come out of trying.
I want to start off by saying life is hard and your brain doesn't want to do hard things. Your brain wants the easy route. So when things start getting difficult, it is completely normal that you want to quit. It is completely normal that you don't want to bother anymore and you just want to give up, basically. It is normal. You're not alone. We've all been there. Even the people that are successful and push through, they have had not one, not two, but multiple experiences where they just want to give up. There is no alternative. And by that I mean like nothing doom and gloom. When I say that there's no alternative, what I mean is that either I keep going and I keep trying, otherwise I stay in the position that I'm in now. And my position right now is not bad. Like, it's perfectly okay. I mean, obviously I don't have a job right now, so it's not the best. But my point is, if you're in a position where you're not 100% happy and you want things to be different, the worst thing that can happen is that you stay in that position. I'm of the opinion that if you don't go out and try and you don't keep showing up and you don't keep doing things, you're just going to stay where you are. And if you're not happy, well and truly where you are, then you're not going to be losing anything by trying and keep going. Like, that's literally the thing that I keep telling myself all the time, is what's the alternative? I can keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. It doesn't matter if I fail, whether that's in my own eyes or in the eyes of other people. It doesn't matter, because at least I kept going. At least I kept trying. At the minute, I'm really trying with my YouTube channel. Now, I've been making YouTube videos for years, for absolute donkey's years. I started making YouTube videos when I was, I must have been maybe like 11 or 12, like back in the day. Actually, I made YouTube videos before that, well and prior. Like, I had a few other accounts before. I made the chins videos. I don't know if you know the classic chins videos back in the day. Made a few of those. Had a dance channel, would upload dance videos of me when I was about like 9 or 10. I've had a lot of different channels, and I also went through a period of time when I was making the music videos and I loved it. It was just such a great creative outlet for me. Anyway, I gave up on that when I was younger because I got bullied. Now, ever since then, I've thought, what if I continued? What if I did that? What if I tried again? And I kept trying again. Now, you could look at me and think, oh, you failed. You kept trying, but you gave up. But the thing that I see is that I've kept coming back and I've kept trying. And I'm of the opinion now that whilst I wouldn't look at my YouTube career currently and say that's a successful YouTube career, or like I'm not successful on YouTube, I can hold my hand up and say that I'm still trying. There's still an opportunity for me to have a successful video, for me to be more creative, to learn more. There's so many opportunities or doors that I haven't yet opened, for example, with my YouTube. And I keep showing up. Like, I'm sitting down making this video right now. Last year I was making videos. I had a pause for about 6 months. I didn't make a video just because of life. Other things took priority, but I'm back again now. Now, I didn't quit. I just took some time out. And I think that's a really important thing to think of as well, is that you can take time, you can take breaks, and you can prioritize some things sometimes and other things another time. That doesn't mean you've quit. It doesn't mean you failed. It's just taking a breather. Like, you don't have to continuously be working on things for it to be successful. It's just the whole point of coming back to it and working on it and keep going, keep trying. And if you have a setback, it's okay, and you dust yourself off and you keep going. Or maybe something does fail, but you learn from it, which then in turn helps you on the next step, which maybe gets you in a direction which is even better than the original one, because you failed and learned that lesson, and now you're on a better path, if that makes sense. With my YouTube, it's like I still have opportunities, and I think that is something I'm so incredibly grateful for, because I haven't yet achieved any of these opportunities. They haven't come to me yet, but I know that if I continue to show up, I continue to do things like make my YouTube channel, reach out to brands about social media management or UGC videos, or continue with this community that I'm building of women, or whatever it is I'm doing, going to the gym, whatever. I know that there's so many opportunities that are still awaiting for me that if I was to stop now, I would never know what they were. As long as I'm showing up every single time, even if I do take a break, there's still endless amounts of opportunities for me and doors that can be opened that if I don't keep going, I'll never know what they are. So I think that's a really nice mentality to have. Like, that's a pat on the back moment for me, because that is, I think, one thing that's just really keeping me going. Like, the situation that I'm in right now, I'm currently jobless. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed. I have been for the past 2.5 months. months. I'm trying to figure out my whole entire life. I've spoken about it in my last recent videos. I'm currently throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and I'm just trying. Like, I love to try, because if you don't try, you don't get. And if you don't ask, you don't get also. I started a women's community. Now, that's a whole story in itself, but it's been an interesting ride, and so far I've learned so much. And at the start, I was thinking about starting it. I was like, oh, I don't know where to start. I had the whole perfectionism thing, and it was like, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? Started like looking at other people, comparing myself, and I still do that in areas of my life, but it's really not constructive. I started with it. I just started because I couldn't figure out how to start. So I just said, okay, let me take the easiest route. Let me just post on Instagram. Let me get the first thing out. As soon as the first thing is out, you've started. And that's the hardest part. The hardest part is starting, and then you can figure it out as you go along. And I did, to a certain extent. I'm trying to figure it out again now. But yeah, I posted on Instagram. It had really good feedback. I started getting followers, and it was like, okay, now what's next? And if I had never taken that first step, I would have never been in the position that I am now, at nearly 1,000 followers on our Instagram, having hosted multiple events, worked with really cool brands, and I wouldn't have gotten to the position that I'm in now of creating such a wholesome and nice community and having all these memories and experiences if I hadn't have taken that first step. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's been difficult at times, and I've questioned it, especially recently. I've been questioning a lot of things, like, is it worth it? What do I do? It's that whole feeling of when things are easy, it's easy. When things are easy, it's easy, basically. But as soon as things start to get difficult, it's hard. It's really hard. And I felt that in my brain at moments in the last couple of weeks / months of looking at things and starting to feel like, oh my God, what do I do next? What's the next step? This is so difficult. I don't know what to do. I don't know what is right. And in those moments, I've thought about quitting and just giving it all up and thinking, who the hell cares? Let's move on to the next thing. Next. What else can I make work? What else can I make work? Rather than sticking through that feeling and thinking, okay, I've tried this. It didn't work. I've learned from it. What's next? Rather than giving up and moving on to the next thing. So I think that's a problem that we have now more than ever, is the instant gratification. Because with these things, obviously social media and everything, we really feel like we need to have everything done now. And if we try something and we don't get the results instantly or quickly, then we're like, well, what's the point? Clearly I'm not doing something right. Clearly I'm failing. I'm not good enough. The self-doubt starts to creep in, and we give up and we move on to the next thing, because maybe the next thing is what we're meant to be doing. And maybe the next thing will give us that satisfaction and accomplishment that we feel and need. The truth of the matter is that everything takes so much work, and our brains work in a way where if something feels uncertain or scary, it's going to try and keep you in that safe space. Like, that's just our natural tendencies. That's just the way we're wired. So it's completely understandable that when things get difficult and the path ahead looks really uncertain and you don't really know what you're doing, where you're going, how to do things, whatever it is, it just feels a little bit scary and uncertain. Your brain is like, oh, no, let's go back to the easy routes. Let's go back. Like, no, over here is where we want to be. But you just really have to combat that and just tell yourself, like, it's fine. Even if you need to take a few days out, a few weeks, whatever it is, just to like sit with your thoughts, figure things out, take it little by little, because I think it's just so easy to give up basically and just not bother anymore. But then you're left with regret. And that's one of the biggest fears for me, I think, is getting to an older age, such as, like, I always picture myself on my deathbed, as morbid as that is. I picture myself on my deathbed and I think, imagine looking back on my life and feeling regret. Like, oh, I wish I did. Why did I not do that? Why did I not take the opportunity? Why was I scared about the way that I looked? Why was I worried about what people would think of me? Like, just spending so much time thinking on the what ifs. I do this, what if I do that, but then never actually taking the action steps. And then basically time passes you by extremely bloody fast, and realizing then you're of an old age and you're looking back on your life wondering, why did I never do that? I don't want to end up in a position where I'm looking back on my life and thinking, why did I not take that risk? Why did I not keep going? Why did I not keep showing up? Because I've already felt that, and I'm 28 years old, and I've already felt that, especially with my YouTube channel is one example. I look back and I'm like, why did I not continue? I know I didn't continue was because I was getting bullied, and then I went through a period of time of, like, obviously younger, I was in my early 20s, going through a lot of self-doubt, not liking what I look like on the camera, really focusing on the fact that I don't look like a YouTuber is what I used to tell myself. Like, what does a freaking YouTuber even look look like. I would literally look back at my videos and cringe and think, I don't look like I should be on YouTube. No one's gonna listen to me. I sound weird. Like, I would literally just nitpick myself, and then I would never post a video, and then I would find that video years later and then look back on it and think, there's nothing wrong with this video. This video would have actually been a really good video. Why did I not post that? So I've already felt that regret of like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I post that? Why didn't I continue? I wonder what would have happened if I continued making videos or continued being creative, because there's so many things that we can do in our life, no matter on the situation. Obviously, it depends on who you are as a person, where you are, the resources that you have. Like, even if you don't have a lot, I still feel like you can do a lot with not a lot. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think you need a lot, and I think that's something that's been drilled into us, that we feel like we need to have a fancy house, the latest gadgets, all this kind of stuff, all these material things to do things, where it's not entirely true. Social media. Social media is a blessing and a curse. Now, I work in social media, and I spend a lot of my time, and I've grown up on it. I've literally been such a computer kid. I've loved being online, and I have been online for a majority of my life. And although it's such a great thing and it opens up so many avenues and shaped me into the person I am today, it's also so dangerous. I think that's because you're no longer comparing yourself with your neighbors, you're comparing yourself with the whole entire world. So when you're doing something and maybe you're looking for inspiration, or maybe you're just browsing on Instagram and you see all these people maybe the same age as you, who are in the same industry as you, or are doing something that you want to do, and they're maybe doing it 10 times better than what you are doing. That's such a minority, and I have to tell myself that, because I do the same thing. Like 2 weeks ago, I was looking at inspiration and what other people in the industry are doing. So I want to start basically a social media management freelancing career. I don't want to go back to the 9 to 5 grind just yet, so I want to try and do this for myself. And I was looking at what other people do, and I got myself into such a little hole of feeling sad, because I was looking at everybody else's work and thinking, wow, they've done so much and they're younger than me. Crap, I'm behind. I need to do this, I need to do that. And my to-do list got longer and longer and longer, and I just made myself super overwhelmed, because that's the problem with social media. It's so easy to compare yourself, and you're not comparing yourself with your next door neighbor anymore, or the people in your town. You're literally comparing yourself with the world, and there's always going to be someone better than you, but there's also people that are worse than you, and there's going to be people who look up to you and think, oh my god, I wish it was them, and you're going to be looking at other people and thinking, oh my god, I wish it was them. I think that's a really dangerous thing, especially when it comes to giving up, because I felt it in myself, and I know it's so easy to fall into that trap of looking at what other people are doing and thinking, oh, what's the point? You know, they're already doing it. I'm not going to be able to do something as good as them, or whatever. It's just a really bad, negative place to be in. It's very negative self-talk, and it's not constructive at all, because Gemma is doing what you want to do, and maybe she is a few steps ahead of you. She's on her own journey. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Also, they're not going to be the same anyway, like, because I think this is the thing sometimes as well, as we live, like today, there's so much. It's so difficult to be original now, and there's always going to be a new twist that can be added to things, but unless you try and go out and just do it, you're never going to know. So yeah, don't compare yourself to Gemma, because you've got your own spin on things. It doesn't matter if both of you are doing it, because both of you can do it in a different way. If you don't have a very set in stone why you're doing something, it's also pretty easy to give up, because you don't have a backbone. Like for me, the YouTube thing, I keep coming back because I love it. And I love creating videos, and I love chatting and all this kind of stuff. Like, I've always done it since I was a kid. So that's what keeps me coming back. But I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for that. Yes, I would love to make some money from YouTube and be able to do something that I love doing for a living. Obviously, who wouldn't love that? But that's not the sole reason why I'm doing it. The same with the community that I'm building. It fills me with so much love and joy, and I know why I'm doing it. I want to do it because I want to help people find connections, and it gives me purpose, and that's why I love doing it. And I think it's easier to show up and keep going when you truly know why you're doing something. If you're doing something because you feel like you should be doing it, it's so much easier to give up. The same as if you go to the gym. If you're going to the gym because you feel like you should be going to the gym, even though you hate the gym, you have to have a deeper why, a deeper desire to do something to keep going, in my opinion. Otherwise, it is so easy to just give up and then put priority on something else. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think life is an absolute roller coaster, as we all know. And there's going to be times when you want to give up. There's going to be times when things feel really, really, really difficult. and really, really, really easy. But I think it's just staying true to who you are and showing up for yourself in any way that you can, and just know that you can do it and you can get through a moment of toughness and, you know, ride the highs, ride the lows and all that jazz. But remind yourself that if you don't keep going, what's the alternative? Because that is literally the biggest thing for me, is if I think that if I give up, then I've just thrown away every opportunity that could have been there for me. So yeah, keep going, and I'm sure you're going to smash it. Keep showing up for yourself, no matter what it is, no matter what you do, how much, how little. Just keep showing up. Do what you can do, because I know you can do it. Bye.